Hello viewers, welcome to Divinity Original Sin 2 version 3 gameplay. Starting story mode with Tactician difficulty. I don't know whether I will be able to handle Tactician difficulty or not. However, going for a little bit of challenge because I have played Divinity Original Sin first release. Divinity Original Sin 2 is a very popular RPG and open-world game which was released on September 2nd, 2017 by Larian Studios. I guess you like to play RPG games. I'm a fan of RPG games as well. So many character types to choose from. You can also create custom character instead of choosing origin character within character creation process. In this video, we are going to choose Lohse, human and origin character. Then after a little bit of character customization, we will start story mode. By the way, you don't have to pick Lohse. And instead pick your best character type. So many abilities and skills are available. Tough to finalize our first 3 abilities. Here, I am picking Wayfarer along with 3 other abilities such as Pin Down, Fossil Strike and Ricochet. Thinking about archery and magic combinations. I don't know how nicely it is going to work during battle because already picked hard or Tactician difficulty. If you choose to go with Tactician difficulty then you must have a good planning. Reducing bartering and increasing thievery skill because of lock picking. Actually we need to go through all these tool tips before finalizing skills and abilities. I wanted to pick abilities quickly and give it a try. I can't change ingenious and thrifty talents, so sticking with pet pal talent. Next we might get far out man, comeback kid, or others because of hard difficulty. Fine with Jester and Mystic tags. Let's listen to Lohse's origin story.
All my life I've been a performer, a musician, beloved and celebrated by all. But I have a secret. I'm also a playground for sprites and spirits and worse. The voice that rings inside me now is darker than any that came before. Almost caused a bunch of my fans to rip each other to pieces. But you can trust me. I've got this under control. Step 1. Find out who, or what, is trying to take control of my mind. Step 2. Make it sorry it ever tried.
Interesting. Different characters have different origin story and objectives. Shall we begin our story mode journey?
It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the Magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared, and sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken, but instead I became part of their story.
Nice starting trailer. From the tips, we can separate stacked items by holding left shift and then dragging and dropping to another inventory slot. Lohse is in a ship then.
Damn. And here I was hoping my upstairs visitor was just playing tricks on me.
You can organize items or skills according to your battle strategies. If you are a keyboard fan, then it might help.
Oh, everything's spick and span. Nothing left to do, really. Smelling salts are strong stuff.
Can't use maddening song because Lohse's source is muted right now by that color. Going to get all available items from all rooms if possible. If you press keyboard Alt key, then it will show all collectible items from that room or area except boxes or chests. Otherwise, finding items will take longer than regular gameplay time.
Who are you? Nobody?
We can also have a look or trade with most of the characters during conversation by clicking on trade icon.
Ah, you're up. Yes. Looks like that collar fits fair. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the chap in charge of the logs. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. No, you're alive, and you're having a conversation. You are on a ship, of course, but luckily for us both, we're merely sailing the plain old sea.
Index fingers pressed to her lips, she pauses a moment to give you a scrutinizing gander.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Perhaps I was a bit too generous with that sedative. Oh well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. Eventually. In the meantime, all you need to know is that we're en route to Fort Joy. A new life awaits. And if you're a particularly good girl, perhaps a cure as well. An end to Source. For good. Why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those Source spells of yours? See what happens.
Currents of magic surge inside you, boiling, bursting, then breaking, only to fade back into your soul like rain into the earth.
My, look at the concentration on your face. All will, but no result. There you have it, see? The collar's function. It neuters you, of sorts. Makes you unable to cast Source. For your own peace of mind, of course. Yours and the whole world's.
Let's look at the journal. Our immediate objective is to visit Magister William, on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters.
But who? What a well of knowledge this tome is. Dallas is such a dear lending it to me.
No marks, no indications of...
Not thinking about pickpocketing frequently and instead will trade with them if possible using bartering.
Good gods! There's been a murder here.
A young Magister stands pale and silent. Her knuckles whiten around her weapon as you pass. Behind the Magister, a bloodied mass lies in a heap. Gore and limbs lie at odd angles. You can't make out a face amid the mess.
Of course, peer into the room and ask what happened.
There's been a murder. The Sorcerer was killed by one of your own. Lucky you were busy getting your collar fitted at the time, or you'd be a suspect like the rest of them. Waters is investigating. She'll figure out who did it. Always does. Hands to yourself, bloody sorcerer.
It seems as though there's a pattern in the blood flow.
Red quest marker. Need to go there.
Ugly sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this.
She looks up at you with a mirthless smile.
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You were asleep the whole time. Didn't even stir. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course. Finn was killed by Source. If a Magister could do that, there wouldn't be a Magister. It looks more like a passenger managed to slip their collar. And the rest, well, you see the evidence in front of you. Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open among the passengers. Sometimes they clam up in front of a uniform. Bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that? Think about it. It's one of you who got killed, not one of us. We want to find who did it and bring them to justice. Who's your real enemy here? You let me know if you hear anything. Whoever did this is dangerous.
Magister Water is investigating the murder. She is offering gold coins in exchange for information from Lohse.
Magic. I'll need to write to headquarters right away. No lesions, no trauma. He was bled by magic.
Now, where did I leave my calipers?
Trying to check all available areas to get more items.
Oh, the hatch is blocked. I'll need to find another way.
Lohse has pet pal talent, so we can talk to the nearby sheep.
I'm not suited for this. It's sea cow. Haven't got any shears, have you? People these days.
Funny, the sheep is suggesting to get shoes. Noticed barefoot.
You better be ready to talk here. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves at
boring.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship. You put a knuckle in it. I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
An elf sits tucked away in a dark spot, lazily rolling dice onto the surface of a barrel. They sound like the dry cackling of an old witch.
Snake eyes.
Insufferable, surely.
She chuckles.
I bet that's just what they'll look like.
I'll tell you if you can keep
Rolling dice.
for me to listen.
Deciding fates.
Classified as sloths.
She eyes you quite seriously.
Coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
Not the future, no. But I can read the past in flesh. One of the perks of being an elf, you see. I'm quite good at it, too. I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before last. Shall I?
She gives your arm a vigorous stroke of the tongue, efficient like a cat grooming.
You were in a cellar with other sorcerers. A dark, dank place. I remember it well. As everyone lay sleeping, you sat in the dark with wakeful eyes, looking rather lovingly at... My, aren't you a pretty cup full of sugar and spice?
She pats you on the shoulder consolingly.
There, no need to be a sourpuss. You don't have to worry, darling. Your secret's safe with me.
We just skip to the part
I don't
where I
lick
reassure you
and tell.
You think me mad?
Mad?
Don't worry, honey. It isn't yours.
She looks you up and down with the merest hint of a coy smile on her lips.
I'll tell
Never say never, though.
quiet long enough.
Sebel, an elf, might become Lohse's team member later. All sorcerers within this deck is collared the same way. No new info from Sebel about the recent murder investigation within the deck. Going to talk to all other individuals.
Nice.
I'm busy watching for clues, Sorcerer. Go take your sub-story somewhere else.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his face, he stares across at the Magister guarding him. Noticing you, he straightens and beckons for you to come closer.
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board, and I'd bet 3 months' pay it's this tramp Ifan.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again. He leans in and adjusts your collar with a sharp tug, balancing its weight so it no longer presses unpleasantly on your neck. He winks.
Pinches less that way, right?
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now, you.
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander many, many, many moons ago. Isn't that right, Vic?
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger across his throat in an elaborate fashion, but says nothing. Ifan grins, flashing pointed white teeth.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword and now he's Johnny Big Pants. Long story. Maybe I'll tell you about it in the Joy. Away from interested parties. No. The dead man, Finn, is it? I'd no business with him. And I wouldn't put a man down without good reason.
He glances over at Magister Victor, who's staring back at him with pointed intensity.
Damn shame sheer annoyance isn't reason enough. The Joy, I've heard a lot. Nothing good. No surprise there, since Bishop Alexander runs the show. Wonder if we'll get to meet the Ringmaster himself. Easy now. I might think the same, but Vic here will blow a blood vessel if he hears you talking like that.
What are you conspiring about over there? You! What's your name?
Oh, don't mind him. Vic's just got a bee in his bonnet. And that bee is me.
Of course,
Name.
the truth.
Magister Victor looks at you suspiciously, then scrawls something illegible down in a tiny notebook. He scowls at you as he stows the notebook back in his voluminous robes.
Away with you, at once.
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of keeping quiet, one finger in front of his lips as he leans back against the wall.
Ifan seems innocent here.
There has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned
What?
than your...
Didn't make it clear the first time. Scram.
When you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
It was one of them. I know it. Shoot to kill.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
What on earth is the matter? They don't care about us. We're
Lohse
entitled to them.
can carry only 100 kilograms, so we don't need to add heavy items to fill up her 100 kilogram weight capacity very swiftly. Don't want to keep that water barrel, 60 kilograms. Lohse has started with only 30 vitality or health.
No. Insufferable, surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
I spent my life singing for my slaves to bring me my supper. Finer fare than boiled roots and rotten tubers, too. Meanwhile, the Magisters feast on honeyed meat behind this very wall. The indignity.
Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
This again?
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
Soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hand you right
Well,
over the
well.
side of the ship.
What have we here? A fresh face in this stale hell. Let's size you up, shall we? See if you'll do.
The lizard looks you up and down, like a farmer would a fetching horse. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us will keep our own.
There's some discoloration, but I've seen worse. After all, one can't expect to find prime merchandise on a squalid little ship like this. Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook?
What are you trying to hear anyway?
Cooking? Yes.
Ah, music to my beleaguered stomach. On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor?
Knitting? Somewhat yes.
Oh, but to feel the caress of satin on my scarlet skin once more. A most satisfactory answer indeed. On then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The delicate art of cosmetics is what I'm after.
Personal appearance? Yes.
The very basics, then. I suppose that's a start. So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions answered. Let's evaluate, shall we? As per your own testimony, you can cook, tailor, and groom. Well, that just about settles it. I offer you my sincerest congratulations. As of now, you are my slave.
Need team members and, obviously, don't want to be a slave.
You should probably come to terms with the fact that you've half a mind, full stop. Rein in your impertinence, will you? I'm a fair man, but I won't spare the rod. Anyway, you may leave me for a moment. We'll go over your duties once we reach Fort
I think
Joy.
we need to
Now
cook,
shoot.
knit and manage items in this game.
How dare
That's
you
why
classify this
he
slop
asked those
as food?
questions.
When I want you to attend me, I'll whistle. And
Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms face up on his knees. His beard is a cascade of meticulous plaits, each one braided through with golden medallions. He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open his eyes.
Listen up, Ghetto. You hear that?
He opens both eyes and turns his head toward you, looking you up and down. He smiles and closes his eyes once more.
You look like a Ghetto to me. Listen, if you're interested. Or get gone if you aren't. I ain't saying nothing.
His eyes snap open. He looks at you and frowns.
Murder? Ah, that's what they were going on and on about. I wouldn't know anything about it. I kill a man. He knows who done it. His daddy knows who done it. And the mayor knows who done it too.
His eyes flutter shut, and he assumes his position of repose once more.
Whether they catch me is another matter, but I ain't one to hide my accomplishments. The ship, of course.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood from floor to ceiling, the boom, crash and crackle of waves around you, complaints from the sea itself.
And? Sick as a leper's cat. From the state of it, I'd say she's being cared for by a bunch of beardless babes who never loved anyone but their own mums. But there's more. Listen close. There now, just like that.
You've got this wolf on a leash.
Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back. The other catches you before you lose your footing.
There. You heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, Ghetto. Good news.
Seems to me you should be a little more afraid.
It's the wheel. Don't you see, you beautiful idiot? Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise, which means we're heading east. Burn my beard. That means if we've been travelling for... Ah, so you've eyes as well as ears, eh? You'll go far, mate, even here. Yeah, no indeed, Ghetto. But that ain't my final destination.
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard, gold medallions jingling merrily. His eyes roll over to you.
That'll be all, thank ye kindly, Ghetto.
We'll hang you right over the side of this ship with it.
He continues stroking his beard, a beatific smile on his lips, and doesn't...
this slop as food. I've seen more appetizing.
You one of them?
coming out of
A divine order loyal? They killed a sorcerer, you know. They'll hide the evidence well enough, but make no mistake.
Water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend
All of
to
them
do
are
away
talking
with
about
it.
Fort Joy. Next destination, I guess. Bedroll is one of the most important items because of resting and restoring health from time to time.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
Well, you aren't here on my list. Scrammy. We're trying to catch a killer here.
Can we just skip to
You!
the part where
Sorcerer! Blood!
No!
Go! Ruff!
You think me mad?
Mad? No. Insufferable, surely.
What are you trying here anyway?
I know who you are. You're a singer. My mum likes you. I know you. I heard you sing once. Before.
Classify this slop as food.
Wow! You look cool. I like your hair. I like your eyes. I like your colour. I have one too.
Surprising. A group of kids are also collared. Are they sorcerers too?
I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me, when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
Quick saving right now.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off.
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He looks up, his big round eyes scanning your body, absorbing every detail. He reaches out and takes your hand, turning it this way and that, examining it from every angle. Finally, he pinches your skin, gently tugging at it.
Fascinating.
He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
I have already examined it and found it quite ordinary. What more could I possibly... Oh dear. I seem to have crossed some cultural taboo. How... difficult. You have my apologies, human. Perhaps I should demand the same from those red-cloaked humans. They laid that... Perhaps. Perhaps not. Understanding is all rather relative. Take this book, for example. I understand all of it, and yet none of it makes sense. It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the beginning of this tale and the end, but I am rather missing the middle. Tell me, what do you know of our world's history? Most unusual, and if it's not too rude to suggest, not much of an answer. No, I want to know about the Celestial. I want to know about your gods. This text tells me that they created all creatures, but nothing of what came before. Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind? Of course you don't have any useful information. Why did I expect anything else? Now please, run along. I have a world to decipher.
No amount of pestering will get the elf to take his eyes off his book or respond to your questions.
Just received a book from Fane. Let's check it out.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hand you right over the side of this ship with it.
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water.
Here's the Magister, ma'am. Good, good. Magister Williams is just about done with the last passenger.
And I don't intend to do away with the custom.
You faring okay so far?
Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned than your appetite.
I'm glad to hear it. You head on in now. Williams will get you sorted fast.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put...
There has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with
You
me,
seem on
when you
edge,
clearly
officer.
don't know the first thing
What on
about
earth is the
sauce.
matter? You seem on edge, officer.
Wow.
What on earth is the
A
matter?
lot of items to pick up from the
Murder
two
most
tables.
foul, and I
Later we
strongly
will trade them
suspect you
all.
know all about it.
Are they arresting this
Do
lady?
you? Well, perhaps you're absolutely right.
Keep those bolts trained on her, and if she tries to run, shoot to kill.
You seem on edge, officer. What on earth is the matter?
Murder most foul. And I strongly suspect you know all about it.
Do you? Well, perhaps you're absolutely right.
We've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of the ship with
Junk.
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
Wendigo just confessed that she committed the murder.
Straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God! The woman's mad! You there, Sorcerer! Go and fetch Magister Siwan! We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
Ask what you must. I've nothing to hide. Seems to me you should be a little more afraid. There's a killer about, after all.
Till overboiling a bit of
It means your journey draws to a close. Do stick around for its finale, though, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts Source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
Wendigo just used Source Blast. Is she dead?
What's happened?
No. What's happened actually? No idea. Finally found our first weapon to use. Nice. We can test toy crossbow for now. Are they dead too or unconscious? Let's check what has happened to others.
You pass through the door and are suddenly face to face with an undead. His skull is bizarrely angular and a glorious jewel sits in the middle of his forehead. The skeleton is quickly leafing through a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia, muttering to himself.
No, no, no! What damn fools record knowledge on a pulped tree? It catches fire, it turns into must when wet, it cannot even resist acid! No wonder they're so bloody ignorant.
The skeleton looks up and notices you for the first time.
Oh, it's you. Shouldn't you be running and screaming or some such?
The skeleton groans and looks back to his book, frantically flipping from page to page.
Yes, indeed. It's the look of someone that wants... Now, if you're really quite finished, I believe you have lifeboats to flee to. Please, I was no more an elf than you are those rags you're wearing. I had a mask, rather ingeniously designed, which allowed me to take that primitive form. A mask that was stolen by that damned witch after her... Still, she'll drown with the rest of these fools, and I will...
The skeleton holds up his book in one quick, frustrated movement.
I am trying to discover if there is anyone worth saving, and I will be damned if I let the lives of some mayflies get in my way. Go on, go, swim or drown or do whatever takes your fancy. I have a book to read.
Do you like to play ball? I want to be like you when I'm big. A sick... Hi, famous lady!
I didn't do nothing, okay? It was one of them, one of your people.
The dwarf lies in a heap on the floor, his great beard twisted and tangled around him. He is stock still. You can't see if he's living or dead. You hear a faint thud, thud, thud. He's alive, but only just.
Oh! What happened? I must water. Wine, for goodness sake. Oh.
The lizard's eyes close as he slips into unconsciousness.
It seems, individuals with collars did not die from the source blast. However, almost all magisters are not responding.
Ifan lies motionless, curled on the ground like an animal. Under his shaggy hair, his eyes flicker open, but he doesn't register your presence at all.
Lucien. Lucien.
Ifan cries out, then his eyes fall closed again. No matter how much you shake him now, he cannot be roused.
We are in the kitchen. Grab the items, Lohse, before going to upstairs. Wow. 6 new recipes learned. We'll check them later.
No. Not the final dark. Not yet.
It's no use. Your words do not seem to reach her.
The dice roll darkly. They're rolling for me.
The Magister lies on the floor, unconscious and bleeding from a...
Going to upper deck.
God damn it! Need to get off this wreck and quick.
The ship is moaning repeatedly. We need to get out fast.
Damn! That doesn't bode well. Onwards and upwards.
The Hound paws desperately at its snout. It winces as it draws blood from its wet black nose and continues scratching. The dog notices you for the first time and snarls, the hairs on its back prickling as it lowers itself into a lunge.
You sorcerer!
It sneezes suddenly and paws at its nose once more.
Can't smell. Can't breathe. Too much sauce. Too much. Too much. Please, make it stop. Oh.
Sorcerer!
The dog whines and continues pawing at its nose.
Not long before this thing snaps into splinters.
That source blast by Wendigo was something powerful. Most of the people are lying around the deck everywhere and unconscious. The note informs to stay away from the death body.
Do you mind? I'm really rather busy.
Found our very first tattered shoes.
was painted recently, judging from its pungent scent. You don't recognize the symbol, but it's clearly warning you away. You press your palm against the door to open it. The wood feels neither cold nor warm, but simply grey. The color drains from your hand, and you are left numb. It doesn't budge. The door groans open, but an ashen shadow clouds your mind.
Journal also says, keep distance from death fog.
Death fog? I need to get out of here, now!
We need to update or replace equipment from time to time to increase physical and magic armor. Moving to upper deck again even though missed some portions of this middle deck.
We need to get off this ship!
That was unexpected. The ship is being attacked by a gigantic kraken. Lohse's first battle versus two viscous voidlings. Using Ricochet to damage both the voidlings. Now, need to use pin down skill to cripple one voidling with less health. Pin down and ricochet, both depends on finesse ability. Nice, one voidling is crippled and stopped to attack Lohse immediately. Using Encourage skill to raise primary attributes. Better to bring down one voidling in this turn. You can apply your own tactics to combat these voidlings, anyway. My intention was not to use any potion or scrolls in the very first battle. almost dead. Need to use minor healing potion to be alive. It recovers 30 health or vitality. That was not hard. Gigantic Kraken is trying to destroy the whole vessel. Red flag within the mini-map. Objective is to reach there. Looking forward to collect all available items. Going to that lifeboat.
children and dwarfs first, just like the old stories say.
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes to no avail.
You said there were other people down there. We need to help them.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time for getting the hell out of here.
We should not leave other members behind.
Thank you, thank you, thank you! There's a ladder right over there. You can go straight down.
You're gonna be the death of us, you hear?
Are they going to be rescued by Lohse?
How'd you open your big mouth?
Never leave someone behind.
Another Void Hatchling group showed up.
Void Woken.
Pin down to cripple it because it is too close.
I've faced worse.
They who are about to triumph salute you.
Let the games begin.
Into the dark with you.
These beardless bugs won't sink the ship on my watch.
Time to use Ricochet, multiple attack within 5-meter radius. Ray. One hatchling down. Other members are helping Lohse out.
Telling whether there might be more. We need to move.
Away! The sea's hungry. We don't have much time.
Tub is about to burst.
They smell worse dead than alive. Let's head above decks for some air.
Perfect time to use bedroll and restore health. Quick saving to update progress. transform these void hatchlings.
I hear something. It's...
Wait! We need to wait!
They are leaving Lohse behind. Why is that?
I have plans for you, child. Right.
Nice. Lohse is not going to be drowned. That is the end of Lohse's ship journey.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing Sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Oriven.
Well, the Order's right about one thing. First comes Source, then comes Voidwoken. Am I the lone survivor? Thanks, disembodied voice.
Fort Joy Beach we will continue exactly from here in our next video. I hope you will enjoy playing this game. Thanks for watching. Please, comment, like and subscribe.